guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Achichi Chisulo, and if it's your first time stopping by, you are more than welcome. You can call me Chichi. I'm a fashion designer and a fashion entrepreneur, okay? Yep. So in this video, I just want to give you tips. I just want to share with you guys how I managed to move from just sewing basic stuff and from actually cutting shoes. Okay, I first started by cutting shoes. I never actually knew how to sew. I started with cutting shoes, not until I started sewing. Now I'm like, let me not toot my own horn, but yes, I'm able to sew like most of the things that I'm interested in. I can actually make. I make wedding dresses, bridal shower dresses, all these nice things. Okay, yeah. So in this video, I just want to share with you the tips on how we can move together, or how we can help you move from being a beginner to an intermediate to a professional fashion designer. Okay, yep. So first things first. Number one. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to practice the basics. Okay, so okay, I'm gonna say a lot of okays here, but I hope you get it. Yes, so you need to practice your basics. Practice the simple things, practice the basic borders, practice all these basics that you are taught, or the first things that you get to know when you're learning how to sew, because these are the things that will actually help you to becoming a professional fashion designer. Let's say you want to make a boob tube mame dress, but you don't know how to make your basic borders. That is going to be a problem. So you need to practice your basics. You need to be very good at your basics. The moment you're good at your basics, that's it. Like that's the end of it, because when you practice your basics, you know your basics, and when it's time to learn how to make a basic borders, it won't be hard for you, because you know how to make the basic things. You have practiced how to make the basics things, and then you need to be an expert at the basics. Okay, you need to first be a professional at the basics. That's when you can now upgrade and go on the next level. If you don't do the basics and you're like, no, I don't like this is boring and whatnot, now we'll give you a basic boob tube mame dress. You won't even know where to start from. You won't even know how to properly shape it. Okay, so you won't know how to properly shape it because you've missed certain steps. Be an expert on the basics. That's when you actually be an expert on the other things. That's the first tip. And the second tip is start with simple projects. I know it can be tempting sometimes. You see something a bit complicated and that's what you want to do. You need to start with the basics. You need to start with the simple things, like the simplest things that you can do. So when you actually work on simple stuffs, it will help you get motivated. One, like you just have the courage to even work on other things. So start with simple things. Start with sewing things that require straight lines, even just a simple top, a simple bag, those makeup bags that you put in your makeup, your lipstick, simple wallets, because when you become an expert at that, it will be easy for you to now go to the next project and also be an expert on the next project. You move to the next. That's how people become professional fashion designers, from the simple things that you actually work on. When you make let's say you're making a tote bag, you make it, you perfect it. I'm not saying making it with stitches that are moving like this. No, you have to perfect your stitches. Even on the simplest things, the tote bag, perfect those things. Perfect the stitches. Perfect, like you need to iron it. It has to look professional. That's when you can now move to the next thing or the next project. And when you have perfected, let's say you're making a tote bag, you've perfected your tote bag, it can be easy for you to sell it out and make money out of it. So when you sell that tote bag, or when you sell maybe let's say 10 bags, you can now buy fabric to try on something else. But when you stay back and you don't want to work on simple things, probably you won't have money, you won't get motivated like to do the next thing. You won't have that thing in you knowing that you neglected the previous project. Until you have that, the next project you'll be able to work on it properly. So you have to work on the simple projects, because that way it gives you courage to work on the next project. That's what I had to tell you, because that's what I did. I worked on simple projects, simple stuff, and moved on to the harder stuff. I practiced simple things. I actually made tote bags as well. Yeah, so number 3, are you ready? Number 3, only go to the next project when you are done and completed on the current project that you're working on. Okay, don't be that person that you start something, you don't finish it, you go to the next. Start, don't finish it, you go to the next. That way you won't be able to, you need to face challenges, you need to fail, you need to overcome those obstacles and challenges. That's how you learn. So you need to finish the project, don't stop, finish, complete it. If you have to undo the whatever you're sewing 10 times, undo it. Learn from it, learn what made you make that bad stitch, learn what made you cut that bad pattern or design, whatever it is. You have to learn from your projects. So that's why I'm saying you don't move to the next project when you have a pending project. Finish your current project first. That's when you can now move to the next one. I'm like, that's when you can move to the next project. Hope you're getting me. Okay. So number 4, you need to map out your project from start to finish, like step by step, before you start working on the project that you're working on. So what I mean is, let's say I want to make a skirt. So I need to write down like, what is it that, okay, I need to put my materials, I need my matching cotton, I need my scissors, like I have to put everything together, and then step by step, what shape are we going for? I write step, like what type of skirt am I making? If it's a pencil skirt, we're making a pencil skirt. The measurements that I need, the measurements that I have to like put on the fabric. And then step 1, I will say I will lay down my fabric. Step 2, I will iron my fabric, like how I'm going to cut it. It has to be properly ironed before I can now map down the measurements. That's if you're using freehand. And if you're using a draping paper, you have to like go through all the steps. I properly iron my fabric, place my thing, I cut. So I'm going to attach the lining to the main fabric. All those steps till the end of the thing. Like you have to sew it in your head. You have to like stitch it and sew it in your head before you actually put it on the machine, because there are chances that you might actually have some obstacles and you might actually see something that you can change before you put it on the machine. You might see a possible mistake that you were supposed to make, but because you've put all the steps, you're able to see and correct it before you make it. Yeah. So we are on what number are we on? Number 4. The next is number 5. So number 5, you have to make corrections. You have to correct your mistakes. When you make a mistake, don't overlook it. Make corrections, because on the next project, you'll be able to know that this is what I did on the previous thing, I need to correct it. But if you overlook it, you probably make the same mistake on the next thing, and even on the another thing. Yeah, just like that. Like that will be now your trademark. If you're making bent things, your trademark will be making bent things. You have to make corrections. Don't overlook it. Don't be tired on corrections, because you find corrections, you undo it. Besides, this is just a side tip. You need to get what do you call it, that thing that will help you undo Sim Reaper. You need to get a Sim Reaper, because your Sim Reaper will be your best friend. If you want to be a professional, a Sim Reaper will be your best friend when starting. Okay, but trust me, all these corrections and mistakes won't last long. The moment when you make a mistake, you correct it, on the next project you won't be able to make that mistake. You are guaranteed that you probably won't be able to make that mistake. When you do all these things, you slowly start perfecting your skill, because one, you won't make the same mistakes. When you map out everything, you go through everything, the possibility of you making that mistakes are really slim. Okay, so that is it that I have for you today. And please, if you are a beginner and you would love to start making all these complicated dresses, couture stuff, just practice everything that I've taught you. Practice what I've shared with you. This is what made me become and be able to sew the things that I sew today. I am not there yet, but I love what I do, and I'm still learning. I am still doing all these things that I'm doing. I learn every day. I practice, not much, but I do practice, because I have a fashion studio, and people come in with different designs. So that's another way of me just learning other designs and also making the things that I already know. Thank you so much for stopping by. And if you like this video, don't hesitate to give it a like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Thank you. Stay blessed.